Hi everyone, welcome back to Chop's Garage, the real life car trading channel. We're going to discuss this in a moment. First of all, I'm just going to show you this quickly. Those of you who watched the previous videos, I said I was going to machine polish the Skoda Yeti I got in. This is the one owner from new 30,000 mile four-wheel drive Yeti that we got from a subscriber. Well, I hit it up with the old 3M and the green pad. I've got to thank Sam at the valeting company for saying that I should swap to the 3M stuff. It's so much better. I'll put a link in the description to my Amazon shop where you can pick it up. But if you are doing any machine polishing, you're using the cheap pads and the cheap compounds, swap to this. You'll do it in like a quarter of the time and it'll be a much better finish. As you can see, all those scratches in the bonnet, got all those out. Machine polished all down the side of it, across the roof. Well, machine polished everywhere. Recoloured all the plastics. Look at it, it looks like a brand new car. It really does. It's come out absolutely immaculate. So now we've just got a photograph, got it up for sale. I'm not going to photograph now because it's pouring with rain, it'll undo all my good work. Now, on to the Chevy. Yes, we have yet another Chevy Spark. I think I've got 3 Chevy Sparks now. But those of you, again, that watch the channel regularly will recognise this one. I sold this car, 8 months ago I sold it. No, was it 8 months ago? Might have been slightly less than that. I sold this car a little while ago. And a lot of you can be forgiven for thinking from previous videos of issues that have come recently that I was forced to buy it back. Well, I wasn't. This is a nice case where the customer had a change of circumstances. They were given a VW caddy van, which they use because they do a lot of canoeing and stuff like that. And this was only ever supposed to be a stopgap. Well, they messaged me and said, did I want to buy it back? Now, if you remember, this car was also one owner from new. Obviously, it's not now. It's got 2 owners on it. But it was one owner from new. Again, a subscriber put me onto it. It's his sister's. Again, when you guys message me about cars, it's so hugely appreciated. It gives me the opportunity to buy some really good stock. Apologies to anybody I've missed. Persevere. Keep sending me email is best rather than telephone calls. Because to be honest, I get so busy it's difficult to answer calls all the time, so email is best. You'll find all the details on the site. So yeah, so they offered to buy it back, for me to buy it back off them. Many of you may remember I did a hell of a clean up on this. It was in bad condition. It had just been sitting for a long time, so it had a lot of green algae and all the shut lines and in the door gaps and all that kind of thing. Well, they've kept it just as clean, guys. Look at the condition of this. Now, fair play, obviously I have given it a quick clean down, literally gave it a wash, and then obviously gave it a quick going over with the GT Shine ceramic wax spray. I've only just finished off my first bottle. I think I ended up doing, I want to say 6 cars. You know, I only like to promote stuff that I really rate, like that 3M stuff just then, but I'd really, for quick clean downs of cars and to give them a really good shine, I really do rate the GT Shine. This is fast becoming my favourite for quick detailing. Again, there'll be a link in the description down below for that, for a discount code for it. But so yeah, just gave it a quick wash down, a quick going over with the GT Shine. It's looking like a brand new car again. Brand new car. Only thing they did while they had it was they did the air conditioning, which is a blessing because air conditioning has been the bane of my life at the moment. We're used to having air conditioning now in cars that when they get to sort of 10, 12 years old, they still want top-notch air conditioning, which, you know, it's an expensive setup to keep top-notch if you start going through compressors and pumps and all sorts. Anyway, the inside is just as clean as when it left. Well, you know, it's pretty much, again, like the Skoda, like a new car. The mileage was mega low on this one as well, wasn't it? Just remind yourself, I can't remember, I think I sent it out with 14,000. Yeah, I think I sent it out with 14,000, now I've got 16,498, so mega low mileage. And you know I love these Chevy Sparks. I think they're cracking value for money. So yeah, I jumped at the opportunity to buy it back. Made them a bid, which they thought was fair. They popped it over. Mega nice people. They seem to be very keen to buy another car off me as soon as they're ready. That filled the spot perfectly because at the moment I really do need ready to go stock. I've got so much sort of project and stuff that needs work, and I wanted small stuff, small CC, cheaper end stuff. As I said, these are just daft value for money, really. What you're going to be getting, what is it again? It's 2011 with that 16,000 miles. It'll be 3,995. So in the current market, they just stand out as being really good value for money. And like I say, I've always found them really reliable cars. Everybody I've sold them to absolutely loves them. The couple that had it absolutely loved it. The Yeti, by the way, the Auto Trader's coming out about 11.5 on that, which these Yetis do hold their value really well, especially the 4x4 models. So with mega low mileage in this kind of condition, it's probably worth what Auto Trader want for it, really. I haven't added together what my total costs have been yet, but I guess it'll be in the region of that. So no interest. These are the cars people tell me to buy all the time. So 40,000 miles, 2018 Citroen C1. You'll have less hassle. They're new. There's nothing really to go wrong with them. And I find it all the time. I had it with that Clio I had as well, didn't I? As always, I'm under Auto Trader on it, and yeah, not a sniff. It just doesn't seem to be any interest at all. I don't know. Perhaps when people get to that kind of price point and this age, they've got too much choice. Don't really know. Anyway, so yeah, nice to have these two ready to go up for sale so we can start getting some more stock up because we are short at the moment. So again, yes, massive thanks to subscribers for offering me cars yet again. It's just hugely appreciated. Now, something I've been meaning to address, it was probably about 3 or 4 videos ago, and I had a lot of kickback from people viewing the channel. Sorry, someone's revving up their engine behind me. I had a lot of kickback on the channel and in the comments from people who didn't like it when I referred to cars of this sort of age. You know, you got what, 2005, 2011, we've got some 2010s outside, as being end of life, because we had the issue with the Corsa that after 8 months the lady said she'd scrapped it. By the way, a lot of you said check the information on the car, because a lot of you are saying that car has already had a change of ownership and is taxed at the moment on the road. So it looks like it wasn't scrapped, as many of you said. So anyway, maybe we'll have a look at that in a minute. So yeah, a lot of you didn't like the fact that I said it was end of life to the lady because it was at that age and that mileage. I think it was around 80,000 and it was a 2010. And he said, oh, you can't describe cars like that as end of life. Normally this is a point where I go, oh yeah, I have to apologise, I didn't quite mean it like that. Well, I'm not going to apologise because it's the truth. It is the truth. And the argument I've had with everybody in the comments is, let's take this for example, 2011. Let's say it didn't have 16,000 miles on it. Let's say it had 80,000 miles on it. Name me a component on this car that isn't end of life, that hasn't got to a point where it's going to need replacing. I mean, obvious things like the glass, unless the glass got broken, obviously bodywork panels, but all the mechanics of the car, and that's what we're talking about in that video, the mechanical items within the car, name me something that isn't end of life. All the rubbers are getting to a point of being on the car for that. Even this with low mileage on it, things like the ECU have still experienced the heat changes in weather and moisture and all that kind of stuff. If it's sitting outside, the rubbers have still experienced those changes in temperature and the time that's passed. They still dry out even at low mileage. Everything on the car is at a point where it's end of life. Now, I don't mean I'm saying the car physically is end of life and needs to be binned off straight away. No, of course it isn't. The cars will continue on for ages if, and this is the big thing, if you're happy to replace parts. If you buy these things and think you're not going to have to replace parts when they are end of life, then you're nuts. And if you think a dealer should catch the ball on all of the parts on it that need replacing for the next 12 months, then again, you're nuts. How much would the dealer have to charge over a private sale price? The reality is the cars are end of life. The dealers have a duty to, as I do, get them roadworthy. So with the new MOT, I like to go advisory free on mine. I service them, so I know the servicing is up to date. I test drive them, and if anything happens, say within the sort of first 30 days, I'll say fair enough, that was a existing fault. But a lot of people complain, oh, dealers say it's fair wear and tear. Well, it is on a car over 10 years old. It is fair wear and tear. What I will say is a lot of people watching the channel at that point would not have known things like I drive a 2010 Jaguar with 160,000 miles on it and a 2007 Suzuki Swift with 100,000 miles on it. I also drive a 1969 MGB about. So those of you who watch the channel regularly know that I drive old cars. So I'm not slagging old cars off. But I, like with the Jaguar, people go, oh, you got the Jaguar cheap and you got £1,500. I've dropped probably never £2,000 in that in the last, what is it now? Must be over 12 months now, replacing different parts on it. Other cars, like the Swift, I haven't had to replace parts other than tyres and discs and when I did the rear brake pipes. But again, that's because things like the brake pipes are end of life on a car that age. They're going to need replacing. So it's not that I'm saying the cars are dead at 10 years old. What I'm saying is everything on them is end of life and will need replacing at some point. It's like the Triggers broom thing, isn't it? Those of you old enough will know the Triggers broom thing from Only Fools and Horses. He claims he's had the same broom since the beginning, but he's changed the handle 3 times and he's changed the brush end however many times, I can't remember exactly. You can keep these things going forever and a day if you're prepared to replace parts. Obviously, if the mileage is super low and the condition is good, then the odds of you having to replace parts very soon are lower, but they still will need replacing. So no, I'm going to stand by that comment. however upset people might be by it, because my job, I feel, on this channel is to give people a reality check on car dealing and make them realise that when they're buying, you do get lots of good customers, don't get me wrong. Like this customer replaced the air conditioning. What did they replace? They replaced the air conditioning pump, was it, or motor or something, during their ownership of the car, and they realised that that was working. It went out the door and it worked for months, and then it failed because it's an old car and it was an end-of-life item. So they replaced it, not because I'm a bad dealer and I managed to somehow hide the fact that the air conditioning pump was going to go at some point. So yeah, no apologies for that comment. Hopefully that helps people understand where I'm coming from. And again, anybody who watches the channel regularly knows I love bringing these cars back to life and getting them as good as they can be, and love giving them a second life and a new home. So it is most certainly not about me slagging the cars off or saying I'm selling tat. Now, while I'm on my soapbox, let's have a rant about let's have another rant. We'll have a rant about the smart car. Now, I said from the beginning, this car would be a pain in the bum to sell. Exactly as I said, the S2000 would be a pain in the bum to sell. Admittedly, I've not done proper marketing on the S2000, but the few inquiries I've had have been pain in the bums. And I knew it was going to happen with the Smart as well, because a lot of people have disagreed with me on this. Again, people like to disagree with me. I've not got a problem with it. Get in the comments, disagree with me. I don't have a problem with it, as long as it's constructive and not just being silly. And it isn't something I've already said in the video. So I said it was going to be a pain in the bum because I find sports cars a pain in the bum, because the people that are buying them, they're not buying them as their everyday runabouts. You buy that, some of this other stuff, it's because you need something to get to work that's economical, is going to be low cost, and you need it quite urgently. So your expectations are that you need it with a new MOT, with a service, as I said, and it's going to be reliable. This stuff is buying on a whim. This is buying a toy, and that leads you to people that aren't under any pressure to buy within any time frame. They can go and look at 8 or 9 of these cars and still buy none of them, and they will spend an age going over them. And this is pretty much what's happened with the smart car. I put it up for an advert. I put the advert up, got an inquiry straight away. Someone wanted to come and see it. Wanted to see it, booked, on the phone straight away, 9 o'clock, booking an appointment. Following day came up, they didn't turn up, and then said, yeah, sorry, we're going to have to come tomorrow, something's come up. So they booked the following day, like I said, turned up an hour and a half late. I put off doing things because I wanted to be free when they turned up, but they were an hour and a half late. Okay, no warning, just turned up an hour and a half late. They explained that they had a smart car, one of the 2-seater ones, so the upright ones I mean, and they said that what they wanted to do now was they'd had a car in between and they wanted to go back to one, but they thought if they bought a Barabbas, it would hold its value better because it was more limited edition. I thought fair enough, so I pulled it out, spent a good half an hour looking over it, and then they wanted to go for a test drive. Now, against my better judgment, I didn't go in the car because there was 2 of them obviously, and it's only a 2-seater, and they really wanted to try it out together. She wasn't particularly confident driving, so I let them go out in the car, and probably about half an hour later, they were gone for half an hour. Now, I like people to have a good test drive, but I think probably 15 minutes is really the max you need to test drive the car. They were gone for half an hour. I assume what's happened is they've swapped between the 2 of them to drive it. When they came back, the fans were going like mad. We'd gone down 2 bars of fuel on the gauge, and these things sip fuel, so God knows what they'd done. And he then turned around and said, well, no, the steering's too light for her. She's wandering over the other side of the road, and I had to keep bringing her back into line again. We both had a go on it, but she's not getting on with it. And I thought, well, you've not only both had a go at it, you've thrashed living daylights out of it as well, haven't you? So it's not for them. Not got a problem with that, I guess. Not, if it's not for them, it's not for them for whatever reason. That's part of the game. But then he goes to tear the car apart. He says, oh, you've got an exclusive badge on one side, but you haven't on the other side. So it's had paint on this side. Well, if it has, it's extremely good paint. He said, and you've got the panel gap up here is a little bit wider than the panel gap up here. I'm like, right, okay. And at this point I'm thinking, but you've said you don't want to buy the car, so why are we going through this? You're just tying up more of my time on a car you don't want to buy. He then pointed out a small ding on one of the alloy wheels. He then said, oh, you've got some surface corrosion on your rear shocks and springs. It's a 2005 car. Of course it's going to have surface corrosion on the rear shocks and springs. If you don't want that on there, give it a wire brush down and give it a coating down. It had an advisory-free MOT that on that MOT did not mention anything about corrosion on springs and shocks. And as you know, whatever the boys say needs doing on these cars, I get done. I had the rear brake pipes done on it as part of that MOT. So if they had a problem with that, they would have told me. oh, what else did he do? He just started listing off all these things with the car, and I'm like, okay, but it's not for you, the car. You said it's not for you. No, I just wanted to let you know. What? Anyway, so he then goes on to say, I just want to let you know because I do cars and I'm rebuilding one at the moment. He said, I've just given my son the shock of his life in it. It's a Skoda Fabia VRS, and I took him out for a drive in it the other day, and I was 140 miles an hour with 2 more gears to go. That immediately told me all I needed to know, because comment down below, but I don't know any Skoda VRS that are 140 with 2 more gears to go. It also shows me why I lost 2 bars of fuel on the car, and the fans were going like mad when they brought it back, and they were gone half an hour, because this thing got a thraping on that test drive without a shadow of a doubt. Lesson learned, I'm a fool. I should have been in the car. I need to control the way people drive my cars because they're still my property, and until it's your property you don't get to drive it however you like. But I tried to be flexible, like I said. So anyway, so it's proving to be the pain in the bottom. I also had a daft offer through eBay, through Auto Trader. I don't put stuff on eBay because that's even worse. I put a daft offer through Auto Trader where the guy was bidding me £2,000 less than I've listed the car for. What a complete waste of time. So this is why I've been holding off on the S. People ask, why is the S2000 not sold? It's because I've not really advertised it, because to be honest, I know I need to, but I'm not looking forward to it at all. I really aren't looking forward to it. These are the kind of cars where you get the local specialist from the forum who pops by to look at it for somebody from the forum on the off chance it might be for them, and they just, again, completely tear it apart and waste your time. So I know it's part of being a car dealer, dealing with test drives that don't result in sales, but again, you know, in those circumstances, if someone turns up and it's not the car for them, fine, but to then tear their car apart for no good reason and then tell me silly stories like that, which just indicate how daft this car's been driven on test drive, then I think I deserve to have a little rant about it. I'm actually beginning to think that the easiest way to sell these type of cars, to be honest, might be through specialist auctions. You know, like people that do sports and classics with the auctions. Because I think auctions, people get, especially the online ones, they get carried away bidding, and then they have to take the car away. They've got no choice to come and buy the car and take it away, and you don't have to deal with all the hassle associated with retail sales. Comment down below, what do you think? How do you think these two would do in sort of more specialist auctions? The other car I told you recently was a pain in the bum to sell was the Mini Cooper convertible, the Cooper S convertible. Again, same reason. People haven't really checked out insurance. They don't really know about the fuel economy on something like that and how hard they ride, all that kind of thing. It's a bit of an impulse buy. The sun's out, you've got a convertible. Let's go and have a look at it. Well, you know, we sold it in the previous video. As per with a Mini, it's already thrown an issue. The stop-start lights coming up on the dashboard for her after about 2 days of driving it around. And she's had it checked out, and they said that the switch behind the is it the accelerator pedal or the brake pedal? I can't remember which brake pedal has failed, and that is causing that light to come on. I've had the quote, it's £125 for the sensor, and it's about an hour for fitting. So with the VAT and with the diagnosis they did in the first place, it's a couple of £100 to have that done. So I'm already starting to lose money on the Mini, and we're only a few days into it. Again, all these features that seem a great idea when a car is brand new, when they get to 12 years old, become a massive pain in the bum. Stop start is the bane of my life. Air conditioning is a bane of my life. I wish they could just delete them from these cars when they get to this age, because they don't actually stop the car from being a good running, driving, reliable car. They're just features that I say were fantastic when the car was 20 odd grand brand new, but a pain in the bum when the car is 5 grand at 10 years old. Right, in the last video I showed you my pressure washer fitting, and I stuck 2 tech screws in it, and everyone went mad because it wobbles around like nothing. And I said, Ian from Gas Guy, yeah, go and take it off. I'll put a link to him down below. He's so upset by my poor fitting that he's come straight over after seeing the video to sort it out.
Well, I can't say I'm definitely going to sort it, but what I'm going to do is stick like shit that bit of wood to there for now. I
don't know if we want it there though, do we? Because at the end of the day, what happens is...
It's not there for now. We can move it later.
Oh, okay. All right. You're going to stick a bit of wood down and then screw this into the back of it, are you?
Well, I'm just going to leave the wood to dry.
Just the health and safety. If you watch his videos, he's actually doing this van out at the moment. And if you... Oh, it's pouring rain. If you watch the detail he's going into doing this van and the quality of his work, you'll understand why he's rushed straight over. I said it in the video, didn't I? I knew it. I think I kind of tricked him there, because I thought as soon as he saw it, he'd come over. But look at his van he's doing. He's done all this himself. He hasn't bought any kits. He's literally converted this panel van into a camper. So he's got loads of video content on that if you're interested. He's planning on taking it over to Turkey. So yeah, all of those who are worried about my fitment of the pressure washer can rest easy. Now, Gasman's on the case. So I'm getting a grand tour actually now, aren't I? This shower, I've been dying to see if I can fit in your shower or not.
I don't know whether you will or not, mate.
The toilet's in there as well?
Yeah, it's a spinny toilet.
If I get in there, I'm not sure I'm getting out.
Together. Look, you spin it round to have a piss, and then you spin it out the way to have a shower. Get in there, come on. See.
Is it safe to get in, is it?
Right.
It's not actually as bad as I thought it'd be, to be fair.
Yeah, but you ain't listen.
Oh, that's hitting me.
You're going to have to do this, didn't you, in the shower?
That's hitting me in the back, isn't it?
Even at the highest.
I don't know, I'll be able to get my bits all cleaned up.
Shut the door, hang on, let's shut the door. James!
Yeah, hello, mate.
Don't be shitting in me toilet.
And if so I've got to turn the toilet round to sit on it.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not a bad setup, is it?
You don't sit on it, you piss on it. It's not a shitter. You're not shitting on it.
You're using language that we can't include in the channel now.
No number twos, James.
No number twos in the van.
Only
is that
number
the rule?
ones.
And this is where all the action happens. This is where your bed's going, isn't it?
Yeah, bed will go in there. I'll open the back door so you can get a bit better light.
He could do with using some different terminology when he's talking about the bed area.
Obviously.
You're opening up the back doors in the bed area.
Let me just put these in place so I'll show you roughly. You get a better idea of...
And how much weight will they hold? Those little brackets?
Listen. They hold your floor up in your house.
Yeah, I know nothing about that kind of thing.
I've just started connecting all the solar and that. Battery, inverter. This all connects to the...
You got loads of room underneath. What are you going to put under there?
Oh, this garage space, isn't it?
Yeah.
Diesel heater, that'll go through into there. These are 12 volt touch button.
Nice.
With USBs.
Lovely job, mate. Lovely job.
It's coming on, isn't it?
And what I've just bought a Vito, haven't I?
Take a seat. Mind your head.
I've just given it away. I bought a Vito.
Right, so
nearly just brushed my head.
But that's
that'd be nice, wouldn't it? With that, you can if you didn't have the view of you, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
The door as well.
Yeah, looking out over beaches. Where are you going? You're going Turkey with it first, aren't you? There you go. Follow Gas Guy.
Not plugging the channel.
No. Yeah, give him a follow because he saved me from electrical disasters. And we're finishing off the video with another subscriber buy. We've just literally dropped our subscribers to the train station. They've just dropped off this Corsa to me that was the father-in-law's. And the big thing about this one, you already know it, don't you guys? It is automatic. Now, I can't quite remember what you call these autos. It's the not the full auto, it's the one where I think it's operating a manual gearbox, but you've got a choice of either going up and down through the gears or leaving it in full auto. But it's another mega low miles car, 23,831. Loads of service history though. Looks in good condition. Just drove it back from the train station, so driving there and back again, just done an hour's worth of driving in it, stop start traffic and open road. 2011, drives really nicely. I mean, it's a bit like all of these electronically operated manual gearboxes. It's a little bit dim in the changes. You want to let off the gas a little bit, like driving a normal car. If you keep your foot down on the gas and you try and change gear in a car, it'll be uncomfortable. You need to let off slightly in between the changes. But if you want it totally smooth, and obviously doing it with the manual change is a little bit smoother than leaving it at full auto. But no, it changes gear fine and drives really nicely. There's a slight colour difference here. You might be able to see it on camera between the door and the wing, which is why you don't paint with silver up to a line. You always blend in because silver's really hard. So it's had some paint on that door by the looks of it, but then again, it is 2011. Overall, it's in nice condition. Now, it's pouring with rain, so I'm not going to spend too much time out here looking at it, but massive thanks once again to subscribers coming up with good little cars for me. That's a real help, that, because autos are in short supply at the moment. I don't have any, So having that in stock, being a 5-door as well, is a really nice bit of kit. Now I have to apologise, I know you're all desperate to know more about the Ital. Thanks for all the feedback on it. I really want to do a video for you on today, but it's been pouring with rain. I need to get it inside. I've got a spare interior that needs to come out of it, and so you can have a proper look over it. We need to go for a test drive, but it just is not the day for it. So I promise I will try and make that the next video. Anyway, as always, massive thanks for watching. As always, massive thanks for the support. About 50% if you're watching is still not subscribed. If you look down below and you're commenting and you haven't got a little red symbol by you, it means you're not subscribed. Yeah, looking at stats again, about 50% of the people watching aren't subscribers, and we're getting very close to 50,000. I'd love to break 50,000, so do me a favour, just check if you're subscribed below. Costs you nothing, it just gives you alerts when new videos come out. Again, massive thanks, and catch you all again soon.